Okay. Hi guys, so let me start this off by doing a time check. It's 1 a.m. Currently where I am. So I'll have to apologize first and foremost if this announcement video or this video in general seems a little bit too scattered. Um, I'll try to make it as organized as possible given my current brain power. But anyway, I'd like to welcome you guys to the first announcement video for Ubasan GG. It's just me today though, because it's 1 a.m. and there's currently an ECQ going on, meaning quarantine for or a lockdown generally in the country going on, or just in our region specifically. I forget, or at least I'm not that updated on the details on that. I'm sorry. I'm a little bit of a in a bubble sort of person, but anyway. So again, welcome to the first announcement video, Ubasan GG. So in the future versions of this game, hopefully it's not a pre-recorded one like this. Hopefully it's going to be a live one. But for treating this as a practice session, just be aware that this is a pre-recording, so I won't be able to respond to any of the live comments if ever there will be comments while this is on Premiere. I think later today. Um, and in the future announcements, I'll try to pull in more of my fellow Ubases in this kind of setup, so that not only will you be able to hear things like what I want to show you guys, for example, or keep you updated on, which is a few games that I want to show you guys that I currently keep tabs on. Hopefully, um, my fellow Ubases like MJ, Mikawai, uh, Shadow Jean, currently changed his name. I'm sorry, I keep forgetting. I almost said his old name. Shinken, Greyjaw, um, Looney also changed his name recently from Love Lunar, and Wamako 16 will be able to join me in this sort of announcement so that they can share with you what's currently on their plate, what they're tracking, what they're currently keeping tabs on, like me. But for now, I guess for the lineup, I'll show you guys. I think, let me just count here, 4 games that I'm currently keeping tabs on. And then show you or share with you an event or about an event that I will be attending later today as well, which is why I'm cramming this video. So sorry again if this is gonna be a little bit scattered, but let's start this, shall we? So first and foremost, I wanted to talk to you guys about um, a a game that I actually reviewed 2 years ago. Um, but is currently coming out with an early release September 3. And I got a private demo access to a pre early release demo access to their game. So, so hold on, let me just switch screens here to show you guys that. Um, so first and foremost, sharing my screen here, I wanted to show you guys a screenshot of the email that I checked out yesterday, actually, Friday the 13th. So by the way, happy Friday the 13th for those who are still on the Friday time zone. Um, so going back to this, so I got an announcement yesterday from an email, actually, from the team from Team Goodnight regarding the release of their game or early access on September 3. So I got access to their private demo or pre-early access demo, and I downloaded it recently. I haven't installed it because I wanted to show you guys what the uh, earlier game looked like before we get into a stream of the future, or of the current game rather. So it's gonna be sort of a before and after thing where I show you that now before I uninstall it actually, and install the new one. So I wanted a record of that before streaming the new game, but that's gonna be it. So take this. I wanted to show this actually as an incentive for you guys to support these kind of games on itch.io. Most of the games I think that I'll be showing today are on itch.io, so this is sort of an take this as sort of an incentive for you guys to do the same. Um, and I hope you guys also check out Good Night. So I'll actually quickly show you guys. So when I said 2 years ago, I actually reviewed their game. I pulled up um, the actual report that I gave them, but we're not gonna go through this. I don't want to bore you with all the details that I put in here because this is just 27 pages long. But I do want to show you guys the overview, and some of the things I wanted to watch out for while streaming later on. So I can't remember if the first exposure I got to Good Night was in itch.io or the face or their Facebook page rather, but um, this wasn't the first time I had the idea to review indie games, and so but this was the first time I think that I sent one out, or I got the courage to send reports or full reviews to developers or um, studios about their game while it's still in development. Um, and before we get into it, I just really wanted to show you an overview of what I thought about it. Um, so expect to see, or at least these are actual screenshots that I got from the gameplay. I think that I did before 2 years ago, so that's 2019. Um, and what attracted me to the game more than the captivating audio visual design, as I've mentioned here, is the gameplay. So for me, it's actually a big thing for me that this game being a bullet hell sort of game, that I, as someone who usually finds bullet hell games very intimidating, quite enjoyed this actually. It was the gameplay was simple enough for me to sort of jump into it right away because it's a one button sort of control. Just the space bar, for example, or if you're playing it on the Switch, it's just, I think, A or the B button, I forget. Um, but it was that easy to get into, and it's very lovable in a sense because uh, once you get in there, there's a lot of things that can pull you, I mean, keep you in there rather. Which is actually it's a pros and cons of it. There's a good thing and a good side and a bad side to that, which I will talk about on a later slide. But before that, actually, these are some of the things that I loved about it. But the first thing that sort of turned me off about it personally was quote unquote confusing interactions. That was specifically, I think, um, me trying to show the developers, uh, I guess, my discomfort on the architecture of their game then in terms of the main menu or in-game I don't know, menu features if I can remember correctly, because there weren't any. But that's basically what I meant about confusing. But actually reviewing it now, maybe I was a bit of a stickler about this in a sense because there's nothing confusing much about the organization of the screens that you see here. It's basically just them showing all that they have for you to choose from as a player, and then put them on the screen. So I think me being a stickler before, I think I'm a little bit more lenient now about this one, and I only care about um, how intuitive the controls are, the navigations are, and as long as people understand that, and I think um, generally looking at this as a first impression, there's nothing confusing about this one. So, to the Goodnight team, I'm sorry if I was nitpicking back then. Um, I'll try to see. I'll try actually to review what specifically I got um, bothered in terms of this kind of arrangement. More or less, I think I nitpicked about the terms that were used in the options here, meaning the maybe the loaded options here for new game tutorial. The slashes there, if you could see, unlock and lore at the bottom here, and basically or generally a lack of grouping or categorizing similar thoughts on the menu. But that's basically it. There's nothing. I don't think there's anything much confusing about this. But um, we'll revisit that. We'll revisit that. Hopefully, in the new um, version of the game, I get to see a little more architecture or more organization in terms of the menu. But again, I'd have to apologize if I did nitpick um, 2 years ago about this one. But I'll review that as well. So, nevertheless, thank you, Good Night team, for, for taking my my recommendations, or at least my feedback. Uh, Nevertheless, but I think more than this one though, more than the interactions, more than the menu rather, or the architecture, the more pressing thing that worried me, um, and I think this was the one that pushed me to actually send them a report on it, or a feedback on the game, was the black hole elements that I saw in the game. So I think again, 2 years ago, I was a little more passionate about these things in terms of uh, y- getting developers and designers or creators aware of um, their responsibility to, uh, I guess, restrict themselves from practicing dark UX. And what I mean by that is, for example, what I mean by that is, get something so addictive that the players or the users will spend their time in there without realizing, uh, the time, or um, having less will to consciously think about whether or not they need to rest, to take a break, or anything. And that's what I mean by black hole elements, because in the game, um, and hopefully we'll get to observe if they did anything about it in the current version. Um, but in the older version, for example, when you get into the stages, or when you're dodging bullets, by the time you get into that sort of experience, if you when you die, it only takes a press of a button, the same button, to immediately dive into it. And there's also no pause in there. If I remember correctly, what disturbed me was trying to find out how to pause it, in a sense other than kill myself, because that's basically punishment for making a mistake, for trying to just enjoying the thing. And what if there's a situation where you really need to pause? There has to be an option. And aside from that, there was also no way to exit the game, which I think I can show you guys that later. Actually, I do have it ready here at the bottom of the screen, so we can jump into it before we again stream it in the future as a comparison. But that was mainly my concern about it. It was easy to get into, but hard to get out. And I don't know if it was a deliberate design on that part, but that was something that 2 years ago I took really um, passionately about. Took a responsibility, or felt an obligation to tell them or warn them about practicing that. So, again, sorry to the Goodnight team if I was being nitpicky about these things, and if um, these are some unwelcome feedback for you. But thank you for accepting my recommendations, my feedback, either way. And hopefully I'm hoping very much. I'm hoping very much to see whether or not some of my recommendations have reached you or has touched you at least on the current version. But that's all that I'm going to show you for this report. Moving forward, I do want to show you guys where you can find them on Steam. So the game is Good Night again. Um, I don't know actually if it's Good Night or Good Night. I don't. You can decide how to pronounce that, but let's go with Good Night for now. So go check them out on Steam. They're also on itch.io, as I have mentioned. If you'd like to, like what I did, support them financially, you can check the game out in itch.io and name your price there. Aside from, wait for the release this September 3. But even before that, go ahead and add them to your wish list. I think wish lists do help them a lot as well. They have a Discord that I actually joined 2 years ago in order to give them feedback, and to keep up to date with their development, with their updates. But yeah, so that's Good Night. Let's see here. I wanted to show you guys the trailer before I move on to the next one. So if you could see the tabs up there, those are basically the lineup I wanted to show you guys. But before we get into it, let me just quickly show you what the Good Night, the older version of it rather, looked like before. So I don't know if you guys can see that. Let me just check for a minute here. Yes, you can. And let's see. Okay. So this is basically the controls. Supportable. Sorry, not again. I keep saying again. So supportable by both controller and keyboard. So I think this is. I can't remember if it's also available on PlayStation. But either way, I only remember it being available on Switch and on Steam for PC. So go check those out. And I think so. Sorry if the music's gonna be a little loud for this game. So hold on. Yeah, I think that's louder than my voice. Hold on here. Let me just. Hold on here. Okay, let's try that. Alright. So hopefully that's not too low or not too high compared to my voice. I hope you can still hear me. But either way, you've got, this is the main page. Going into, so it's got a cutesy elements to it, to a very dark, also a very dark background, or meaning, I don't know how else to describe it. It's chaotic in a sense, but with elements of cuteness in it through the main character, as I would describe it. But this is it. This is the confusing interface that I told you guys about. Again, there's really nothing much confusing in here. It's just that it's a little bit more crowded than what I'm used to. Improvements in terms of clustering or grouping similar ideas or similar elements here could still be an improvement. But again, there's nothing much confusing about it. It's just a little crowded than I'm used to. I think that was more of the point, or that's supposed to be more of the point. But anyway, you've got here some closed off features because of it being an old demo. I think those were under development when this was out. But here it is. So these are actually the different game modes that you could play. This is the original, where you just plainly use the recommended gameplay of the bullet hell version of the game. Pacifist mode is you don't kill your enemies, or you don't slash them, or I think even throw back bullets at them. Just you evading the whole thing. I forget what one life mode is, but I think compared to the usual game, When you die here, you go back to the menu, whereas here you get unlimited tries or continue. And then another bonus for it is the 4-player mode. I don't remember trying this before, and mainly concentrate on the first or the for or 1-player mode rather. But let me show you the gameplay. So again, fair warning, I really suck at bullet hell games. It's just that this was the first thing that got me into it. So this is how easy it is. I'm just pressing the space bar here, and that's all the controls. You can hold it. Okay, I remember this one. You can hold it to throw. Oh, don't. Oh, dear Lord. Throw knives at things. And then I think, yeah, there's aiming here. But I don't think I generally use that. It's just, oh boy. Okay, so let's see. Oh boy. Let's see if I can hit that die. Nope, I can't. Oh, dear Lord. I almost died there. Hey, I killed him. Thank goodness. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I don't know what that is. Okay. This is the game. This is the game. Oh dear. I almost died there. See this? I'm gonna panic a lot in this game, as you can imagine. Later on, I'll try not. I'll try not to be panicky later on, but this is it. This is the game. Oh boy. Yep. So that's gonna do it. All right. So this is not a game. This is not a playthrough, rather. So I'm not gonna try again. But oh, sorry. I do want to show you that black hole element, the black hole elements that I mentioned earlier. So I've died here, and I don't see any way for me to go back to the menu when I need to, or if I do need to. I'll try to press escape later on while I'm in the gameplay, so just to show you what happens. But with the press of a button, it just dives right back into it. If I press escape though, does nothing. Actually, it didn't. Oh, was I pressing the wrong button? Oh, let me try that again. If I press escape, it just goes back to the menu, as I said. And then you jump right back into the start of it, unless, if I'm not mistaken, replay takes you. Then again, I did start a new game before this. Oh, would you look at that? I skipped the tutorial because of that. All right, that's good. So there you go. All done though. So that was part of it. The the one button controls and the immediate continuation of the game with no pauses or no consideration for breaks. That was one of the dark UX elements that I wanted to highlight. But the other thing is, again, back here in the menu, I don't see any options for quit. In a sense, if I wanted to quit, I would have needed to, for example, go back to the desktop mode, look at the taskbar, and then close it from there. So that's how. Hold on, let me just show you that. Let's see here. So I'm back on the screen, and to close it, I have to go into this task menu and close it from here, rather than find a quit option in this menu to do that. So that's maybe just an oversight, but just to bring it out, I wanted to flag, for example, things that they need to consider. For example, if players need a break, or if players have the right to stop when they need to declare where they or when they need a pause. So that's an important thing to have, and was the primary concern of mine in the game. But either way, we're gonna look at that at the future stream, if ever they did implement that. But either way, as it's a very engaging game. Come on. Again, it was easy to get into. Although it's hard to get out of, at least you are aware of that kind of setup, and everyone should be a little more aware of that in any tool or any digital platform that they're interacting with. So let that be a warning, as well as a raise for awareness for creators to be more responsible in designing those kind of things. But that's going to be it for Good Night. So before we move on to the next one, let me show you their trailer. And then we'll move to Project Xandata. So this is Good Night. All right. So that's it for Good Night. Um, Go check them out, you guys. Again, they're on itch.io. They're actually quite active, I think, on Facebook as well. If I remember correctly, they're one of the more active developers who are posting announcements on the GDAP, or Game Development Association of the Philippines community. So yeah, go check them out. Hopefully, you guys also enjoy their game. Go support them, and then we'll move on to another thing that I'm keeping tabs on. All right, so that's Good Night. The next one on the lineup, we have Project Xandata. So I've actually been exposed to Project Xandata even before Good Night. Good Night was just the first game that I gathered the courage enough to send a report on, again around 2019. But Project Xandata was actually one of the first indie games that I fell in love with, especially it being a locally developed game. So if I remember correctly, they've been in development since 2015. At least that's how far I remember. I've been following them on Discord, on Facebook, on their even their what do you call this? The developer's website. I mean, Secret Six. Um, and what attracted me actually to this game is their playstyle customization. So this is basically an overview of what they have for you in the game. So it's very skill based. I like that very much on games, and more. So you're gonna see this as a big theme within the games that I like. It's more about the customization that allows you to bring more of yourself into the game. So this is the first thing actually, or the biggest thing that attracted me to Project Xandata first. Because usually in first-person shooters, so this is a first-person shooter game, the typical thing that you will find is um, so from the likes of what's that, Overwatch, for Apex Legends, for example, now, and maybe even the things I'm considering, which is Titanfall, and well, maybe similar to Destiny 2, um, not part of the typical. So again, going back, the more typical arrangement that you'll see for FPSs, I think, would be um, them having a lineup of heroes or champions for you to choose from or pick from, who have a set of skills that uh, has been coded into them. So if I remember, Paladins, which is one of Macolet's, I think I forgot to mention Macolet earlier. Sorry, Macolet. So so she currently plays a game called Paladin, which is an FPS shooter game. Um, And it's again, the setup is they have a preset set of heroes or champions that you can pick from and use in these fights or in these skirmishes. Um, and what I really liked about Project Xandata was again the customization, in a sense that they have classes, yes, but uh, the way you play really depends on what you equip on your character. I think so. I haven't been exposed to the actual, or haven't experienced the actual gameplay of um, this before. I think they have play tested a few times, but I haven't been a part of those things yet. I'm still waiting for my chance to do that, but it's essentially you being in there, choosing your arsenal, and depending on the way you want to play, you can bring that in. And I'm hoping to, um, you know, experience that as well in terms of FPSs. So this is actually the reason why I've been recently trying to upskill on my first-person shooter, I guess, gameplay, you could say. But if you haven't seen my Apex Legend attempt, I was well, frequently meaning 3 hours straight. I was dying, uh, no wins whatsoever, and that's how bad I am at these kind of games. But I'm trying to be better. Um, so yeah, there's that. So if you guys want to check out Project Sandata, they do have a Discord. They do have a Facebook page. Also go check out Secret Six. um, for a lot more different games that they work on. But this is primarily the thing that I am keeping tabs on in terms of their gameplay. Um, One other announcement, I think, if I remember correctly, a new feature of their website, as well as the thing they're doing for the month of August, which is called the month of August is actually known in the Philippines to be Buwan ng Wika. So for those who don't know, it's actually a month where locally we try to celebrate our language, our culture, um, and in response to that, actually, or in celebration of that, Project Sandata had released, I think, a new page in their game that revolves around or wraps around the lore um, of the game. So you'll learn more about Sandaigdig, what it means to be Sandat. Sorry, this is so weird for me to read with an accent. But basically, not that I have an accent at all. I don't think I do have one. So do tell me if I do. But anyway, they have in their Facebook group as well as their Discord, they've been announcing um, or sharing at least different background or lore about the game that tells you more about the Philippine culture. They've been talking about how they've incorporated elements from uh, folklore into the game, things like about Bathala. Um, and I don't want to spoil anything else, but go ahead and check those out. It's very interesting. They're very interesting reads, and as well as very interesting explorations into our own culture. So, uh, yeah. So if first-person shooters aren't your thing, uh, do check out their lore. Just try to dive into their world as well and appreciate um, the designs. Uh, Hold on, sorry. I was admiring the pictures. Hold on. Okay, so going back into it. So that's Project Sandata. Again, they have a Facebook page. They have a Discord that if you guys want to join that. Not sure if they're in itch.io, but they do. They are present in Steam. Um, Again, no specific date yet, and I'm not privy to that kind of information as well. So, um, uh, but feel free to wish list them in Steam. Either way, at least that way you also get updated on um, whether or not or when they're gonna come out, or how far they've gotten in terms of the development of the game. So go check that out. So that's Project Xandata. And before we go to the next one, let's show you the trailer as well. So here we go.
The enemy is leading. You're here to change that.
All right. So that's it for Project Xandata. Moving to the next one. So this one in particular, this is EndCycle. I don't know if I should read that as VS or versus, but I'm assuming it's versus because that's I think that's part of the game being uh, a battle in a sense. I'm sorry, it's almost 2 o'clock and I'm slowly draining away. So sorry about that. Either way, so in this particular game, I actually wanted to show you this one. I'm keeping tabs on. I forget when I got exposed to this one. I think it was around the same time I found out about Good Night. But what initially got me attracted to this game was the battle mechanics that it had. So if you guys aren't familiar with Mega Man, what's the name? Battle Network. There you go. So if you guys aren't familiar with Mega Man Battle Network, it's basically um, sorry, no, I can't say a spin-off, but EndCycle is basically some sort of replication of the battle mechanics that Mega Man Battle Network had. So this is one of the only games actually that I saw that was similar to that one, and I very much loved actually Mega Man's Battle Network. I don't know if it's a series or just a one-off kind of thing, but um, and I even can't remember if it was in the DS or the Game Boy Advance platform, but it's essentially something that I missed at that time. And when I saw this one, it brought me back, and I sort of missed this kind of gameplay. Because I was at some point I was looking for something like Mega Man's Battle Network thing, and I couldn't find it anywhere. Um, so this one sort of uplifted me in a sense that discovering finally someone who appreciated that kind of gameplay has created or took it upon himself to create or recreate that kind of experience. And I'm bringing this to you guys, or I want to show you guys this one, um, because it's a good experience to have. So the game is currently on early access, but you can buy it both here in Steam as well as in Android. I think um, the controls are going to be a little different. I think the first time I tried it on Android, it was still a little clunky, but I don't know how far they have or they've come now in terms of the last time I played it, which I think was 2 years back. similar to Goodnight, but it's worth a dive into. So go check them out. I'll show you the gameplay later, actually, which is here you go. It's this one basically. So for those of you who are not familiar with the Mega Man Battle Network setup, um, usually it would be you as Mega Man on the left side and a group of enemies on the right side that you have to defeat or destroy. So you can see three different colors on the panels here. The red side, which is usually for the player one. The gray side, or I don't know if this is brownish more, but let's call it gray. The gray panels are where both of you and the enemies can go into, and then the blue side is usually where the second player or your enemies can explore. So there's a limitation in where you and your enemies can move around in a sense. That was basically the controls also available, or at least the mechanics for Mega Man Battle Network. But the interesting or the interesting about EndCycle versus or VS was is rather that they took that gameplay and sort of put it in a different level, or put it up one more level. Sorry, by um, slapping on or sort of developing champions or their own characters that you can use um, to play as and battle with your friends with. Sorry. So there you go. And this is very enjoyable actually to do. And if you're into this kind of competitive things, um, please do check this out. Try it out. It's a blast to experience. It's a blast to play, especially with friends. You're from with friends actually. Um, but I think I'm actually not sure if there's a mode in here that you can just explore a map um, and then kill enemies in a sense. But either way, it's a very fun mechanic to go or to dive into. So go check them out. Again, I'm actually not sure as well if they're on itch.io, but um, I think they do have a YouTube channel, which is the same name as the developer or publisher. It's 12B3. I don't know what that means. It would be interesting actually for me to check that out. So putting that as a mental note, or at least try to find out why it's 12B3. But before I play the trailer, last shout out on you guys going to check this out. Um, Try it both on PC, on your PC, on or on Android rather. And I actually want to hear your thoughts about this one. So do share or comment on this particular announcement if you have tried it out, or if you have any feedback on the game rather. Go reach out to them as well. It's always, aside from showing your financial support, it's always a good way to show appreciation and support for them, to sort of give constructive feedback on their gameplay and their controls, for example, or anything that you pick up on trying out their gameplay, or their game rather. So that's it. That's it for EndCycle. And before we move on to the next one, which I think you actually saw me stream before, we'll play the trailer for EndCycle. To be honest, I haven't watched this one. Hold on. Okay, so yeah, that was a new trailer. I think I don't remember watching this particular trailer before, but I do vaguely remember that in their Discord they have announced um, a sort of crossover with another, I'm not sure if it's a game or something else, but they do have a current, I think today or later today, I'm not sure what time. You can check out their YouTube channel, but I think they will have some sort of uh, trailer or announcement. If I remember correctly, I think they said August 14. Yeah, so that is today. Um, I'm not, or at least I don't remember the details of that announcement, but go check those out. Sorry about the wishy-washy uh, sort of me jumping around the place now because time checking now it's 2 a.m. rather. Um, but that's it for EndCycle VS or Versus. Go check them out, you guys. It's a real blast to even master this kind of to master this kind of game. It's a blast to play. So go ahead and um, go crazy with with this game. It's really fun. All right. So moving on to the second to the last thing from our agenda. You've seen me play this before. I think I streamed it last week. So this one is Lawmage Academy. This is a particular RPG that I've taken a liking to recently, and similar to what I did with Goodnight, I'm actually writing up a report for them on more or less some of the learnings or insights about their usability, about ease of use, um, even comprehension or the architecture of their interfaces or content in the game that they can consider or improve more on. I have yet to give that actually to Vernius though, and I'm a little bit ashamed to admit that I think I would have wanted to give that report a little bit earlier, especially before the event that I'll be attending this weekend. But alas, I have not finished that. I was actually trying to cram it a little bit more after work earlier. But, but yeah. So if you guys haven't seen me stream this or talk about this yet, Lawmage Academy is again an RPG that I took a liking to because it sort of reminded me a lot of um, a lot of the things that I like about different other RPGs like Persona, like Golden Sun. I really can't remember the other games that I listed down before on. If you guys read my post on it um, before or at least last week, um, I'm sorry if I can't recall much. But I think recently I've also established that there's some similarities between this game as well, this game and Bravely Default in a sense. I think more specifically to the aura break that happens in terms of the mechanics here in Lawmage Academy, and I don't know what it's called in Bravely Default, but there's go check that out. Um, I keep saying that, but either way. So this one again. So I mentioned earlier that the one of the bigger themes that you're gonna see me talk about in this particular announcement video is my liking to games that allow you to bring more of yourself into the game, and this is one of those games. So aside from familiar features in Lawmage Academy that brings back memories even from Harry Potter, for example, because of the magic school setup. Um, the novel thing that really attracted me to this one was the way that the character development of the main character happens, especially when learning the skills. So I think I mentioned it in the post last week that um, the skill, um, the skill learning mechanics here in this game uh, struck me as sort of a starting point for um, I forget the words that I used there. So hold on. It it struck me as the beginnings of a very highly customizable way. Customizable way to personalize your character in a sense and make that, or I mean, feel that as more of a journey rather than a mechanical process. Uh, so I apologize if I can't explain that a little more at this time, but um, that's that might be something that can be better explained if you guys go check out the previous post that I had on it, or the stream that I had last week for I think I posted it on Monday. But either way, uh, Lawmage Academy is also on itch.io if you guys want to support them financially. Uh, but do check them out here on Steam as well. Add them to your wish list. That gives great support to any game that you or anyone follows or supports. They're also uh, present on Discord if you guys want to check that out. They have an interesting community actually in Discord that I actually keep up to date with. Verenius is very active on Twitter, and it has been an interesting ride to see him work on this game uh, little by little, um, especially on the side of his work as a full-time lawyer here in the Philippines. But so go check Vernice's game out. That's Lawmage Academy. And before I move on to the next or our last announcement, let's go play the trailer for Lawmage Academy. All right. So we're reaching almost the end of, or at least the last of the announcements that I have for you for this video. And I'd like to thank you for staying with me if you are still here for this set of announcements. But the last thing I wanted to show you guys is, I think I've mentioned this in the in my intro, is the reason why I'm sort of cramming to make this certain announcement, and that's because I'm attending this conference later today, and it's Icon Manila 2021. So in light of, or in the spirit of supporting artists, designers, and game developers alike, or game designers, sorry, I just blacked out there. Hold on. Okay. So in in light of, or going through the theme of supporting artists, designers, and game developers alike, I'd like to invite you guys also to check out Icon Manila. So they have a lineup of, actually, they do have a lineup of artists, speakers, and panels here that you can check out. Um, from I think these are artists from Marvel, from Disney, from different games that I think you guys might be familiar with. Um, and you can go actually you can go check out each of their profiles on Instagram or uh, whichever these or wherever these links lead to in terms of their work or showcasing their work. um, but you can find this all in iconmanila.com. um, and although it will be starting today or in 16 hours, it's actually not too late to buy tickets. um, Generally it's actually a 4 day uh, conference that happens across 2 weekends. So I think if I'm not mistaken, you can buy tickets per day if you're only interested in a few sessions. You can check out their schedule here, but they're essentially or this essentially goes on up until August 22 or the next weekend. So if you guys want to check this out, again, it's on iconmanila.com. They have a lot of interesting things that sessions for you guys to enjoy. Not only getting to know the artists, but also learn a few things from them if you are an artist yourself or a designer as well. I actually got introduced to Icon Manila last year. I attended their first digital conference or digital format. This was the second one. And what really got me into it, or at least what I loved about it, was I guess it's been a long time since I actually came across an event like this that was really around giving back to their community, and that really moved me in a sense because generally or most of the time you'd find events or conferences that are um, jam packed with marketing, jam packed with advertising, a lot of products, a lot of services instead of, and this was just basically a very refreshing take on, uh, or a very refreshing exposure to how some people really just want to give back to their own community, and that actually pretty much moved me in a sense that uh, got me to fall in love with this sort of community as well. So if you guys don't know, actually, I also want to say that um, you supporting, or if you guys ever get to or decide to join us or to join the Icon Manila event, I think if I'm not mistaken, um, all the funds that Sir Armand Serrano gets from this event goes to a foundation or a cause that I'm not sure if they have been supporting for a while now, or if they change it up every year. I'm not sure. This is just my second time to join Icon Manila, but um, it was moving in that sense. They were very genuine about that, and I do want to take part in that and support that activity in terms of um, giving back. Um, Generally, game design and animation, for example, and art is one of the things I am more passionate about, I guess. Um, and this is one of the ways that um, sort of spoke to me in terms of giving back. So if you guys are interested to support that as well, or check it out, or maybe even dive into as a learning experience, um, do go to iconmanila.com. Um, you can get your tickets here for any day that you think might be interesting for you, or all the days if you guys want that, or you guys want to expose yourself to that. It's worth it. Um, and I think that's the last of the announcements that I want to make. So yeah, So sorry again if it was a little bit more scattered than I thought it was going to be. Um, I didn't think it would last an hour for me to talk through a lot of these things in terms of it in my agenda. But um, in future announcements, I'll try to pull in again my fellow Ubases in here. So shout out to Mikawai, to MJ, to Makolet. Makolet, I didn't forget you this time. To Shadow Jean, to Shinken, Greyjaw, Looney, as well as Wamako16. I'll try to pull them into announcements like this and get a little bit more organized on the format as well so you guys don't bore out on me trying to blab out or, fill in dead air and be awkward with you. But that's it. So, thank you again. I can't thank you enough. If you guys are still here listening to me, I'm happy that you are listening to me still. It's 2:10 where I am now. Sorry again for the how we actually call in locally as sabaw, um, a session with me, meaning that usually describes or is a testament to how my brain is soup right now. Um, but that's it. But that's gonna be it for me. So thanks again. Um, Good night to everyone. I hope you guys do get to see this one or this announcement and do check out Good Night, Project Xandata, EndCycle versus RVS, and Lawmage Academy on their pages on Steam, on Facebook, on itch.io. Um, and do support them regardless if it's that's going to be just if that's going to be financially or just constructive feedback on their work. That's very helpful to anyone who is really working hard on their craft. Um, and I guess I'll see you guys next time on whatever video we get to release anytime soon, maybe next week, as well as other announcements if we do get to, dive into another one of these things. Um, so, yeah, bye for now, and thanks for listening again. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.